I did a previous video about a no judgment zone for a criminal defense firm. At the Bianchi Law Group, our team of former prosecutors operate under three core values: courage, compassion, commitment. But what is the no judgment zone? The no judgment zone is that while we have a team of former prosecutors, they have to be the right kind. Again, no disrespect to former prosecutors. But before you're getting into the Bianchi Law Group, there's going to be a whole lengthy application process and interviewing process that's essentially getting to whether or not you can make what I call the critical shift. Now, I talked a little bit about the critical shift in the other video. I want to get into more of what I'm talking about now. Again, in no judgment zones, I'm not judging. Everyone's got their own personality, their own temperament. One of the big issues that we have with former prosecutors is that while we want them because former prosecutors were trained well, they have more court experience, they're typically better with evidence rules, they know how to build cases and construct cases, and moreover, when they now become a criminal defense lawyer, they're able to leverage that experience because they now speak prosecutor. So they understand a good investigation versus a poor investigation, and they understand the pressure points and the concerns and how to speak to prosecutors in a way to optimize and leverage a result for a defendant. But that's if your heart's in the right place. And what I mean by that is that sometimes, especially if you've had a longer term prosecutor that's been there for a while and is retired, not all, please, again, but a lot have a hard time jumping over to the side of doing criminal defense work. They tend to be extremely judgmental, critical. They view the case still with the mindset of a prosecutor when now their job is not to represent the state and prove a case against somebody beyond a reasonable doubt, but to represent an individual. It's a much more intimate relationship. And when you're in that relationship, I mean, I love being a prosecutor, don't get me wrong, but this is a very intimate relationship. You're watching people, literally their lives falling apart. And it takes a lot to be there for them, both psychologically and legally as their professional, and to get them the best result possible. And so it's a different skill set as a person, as opposed to being a prosecutor versus a defense lawyer. Now, when I call that critical shift, the question is, when we're hiring, we want to know, we know that the lawyer's skilled. We know they're a former prosecutor. We know that they're good at what they do. And we know this is a good person. But will they represent clients with the dignity, the respect, the courage, the compassion, the commitment? Do they understand their role to the Constitution has changed? And now it's defending that person zealously and vigorously with every ounce you've got, without judging their conduct, but rather recognizing the importance of the honor of following through with the Constitution and all of our constitutional protections to ensure that the government does not overreach, to make sure that what you do in your case here has an impact and rippling effect on cases throughout the world and throughout the United States, right? It's important, but you're dealing with a broken bird, if you will, a broken, wounded person. Are you that kind of person? Or are you a little bit more stern, a little bit more prosecutorial, and this isn't the right thing for you? So when I say a no judgment zone and I talk about the critical shift, what I mean by that is that, again, good people can be in different places. Some just leave the prosecutor's office thinking that they can be criminal defense lawyers and just can't cut it in terms of what they need from a personal perspective, from a philosophical perspective. It's just not right for them. And that's fine. That's okay. But it's very important that, when people sit there and say, oh, I've got former prosecutors. Well, okay, do you have the right ones? Are you talking about the critical shift? Are you making sure that they're going to be able to deliver optimal results? And moreover, that they're never going to judge the client, that they're going to make that client feel comfortable, that client feel secure, that client know that their best interest is what the lawyer's best interests are, and that there's none of that still prosecutor left in their mind. Listen, yours truly went through it myself. I was a prosecutor for 7 years, an assistant prosecutor, before I went out and started doing criminal defense work. But I was lucky. I had a father who was a criminal defense lawyer. So when I went into practice with him, he explained to me, and it was on a case in particular where he said, well, are you done being a prosecutor? Because maybe if you had made a mistake and continued on the way you were going, an innocent person would have been convicted for a crime. It was an earth-shattering thing. Maybe I'll tell that story in another video as well. But it taught me a very profound lesson that I never forgot. And I made sure that I instill it with every single person that comes into my office. Myself and Dave is my law partner, exactly the same way. The importance of, once you start continuing with your idea, if you're a defense lawyer, that you're still a prosecutor, leads to innocent people being convicted, and moreover, maybe even guilty people being convicted of more than they should. So no judgment zone. If you have a problem, a friend has a problem, don't be afraid to make the phone call. That's the courage it takes. It's that simple step. It's difficult to do. But if you have a good law firm that you're calling, you'll be treated with respect from the minute you make that phone call all the way through the process. You'll feel that you've been heard, you've been spoken to, the law has been explained to you, the circumstances have been explained to you, the approach has been explained to you, the firm philosophy has been explained to you. Look, folks, firms that love what they do, firms that are great at what they do, love to be on the phone bragging about what it is that they do. So you can be pretty assured, in my mind, how you're treating in the beginning is going to be an indication of what you can expect throughout the representation. Thanks as always for listening. Very proud of what we've formed here at the Bianchi Law Group. We're here for you. We practice throughout the state of New Jersey, criminal law, domestic violence, municipal court. If you ever have a question, give us a call. I assure you, you will be in the no judgment zone. Thank you.